I know you would do anything for your daughters, but you don't have the luxury of protecting Christina anymore, okay? When you disposed of that gun and got caught, you made yourself suspect number one in John Kate's murder.
I'll take your case. I'm doing it for my daughter.
You know I will always do whatever I can.
That area of Africa is extremely unstable. That makes it very hard to locate anyone.
She has no alibi, and she had a motive to kill him.
No! How are we gonna find Lucky now?
In all my 30 years of watching General Hospital, Anna has never annoyed me as much as she has this past year. The writers really need to stop with her going after Sonny, while giving Jason a free pass just because he's working with her. It doesn't make sense. Just stop. And don't even get me started on Molly. She's acting like a jealous, entitled child, much like her father, Rick. It's frustrating to see how much alike they're in the worst ways. Then we have Carly, who's suddenly playing the concerned cousin of Lulu. When has she ever really cared about Lulu in the past? Now she's front and center in all these storylines, and it's honestly exhausting. Carly, stand down. And let's talk about Anna. She's known Brennan for years and is aware of his history. Who knows what he might have done to Anna in the past? I'd love to see more of that backstory. Anna's behavior is beyond frustrating. She's going after Sonny, Jason, Carly, and Brennan. But what's she going to do if people find out how she helped Valentin escape despite knowing he was guilty? And speaking of making no sense, Drew, did he single-handedly rescue Laisel and perform the transplant himself? Because Willow is acting like he pulled off some kind of Rambo mission, dodging bullets and carrying Laisel out of burning buildings. Meanwhile, where's the real hero, Laisel, who actually saved Willow's life? This storyline is all over the place. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. How exactly is Carly affording the WSB's resources to keep searching for Lucky? I thought she was still dealing with money problems. And since when is she so worried about Lulu? She hasn't mentioned her in years. But now suddenly she's visiting her and is scared her cousin might die. If they play Lucky the same way they did Luke, Lucky will find a way out himself and return to Port Charles. Luke always had a sneaky, underhanded way of getting the job done, and I'm hoping Lucky's the same. It would definitely bring some much-needed adventure back to General Hospital. And what have they done to Willow? This is the same school teacher who stood up to Valentine, dealt with Charlotte's bratty behavior, and faced off with Nina. Now she's been reduced to a weak character. Then there's Christina. Alexis needs to stop coddling her. It's been happening all her life. Christina needs to grow up, take responsibility, and stop acting like the baby was hers. It wasn't. She chose to carry a baby for her sister and TJ, and now Molly is hurting, partly because of her own sister. Alexis should back off and let Christina face reality. I'm so tired of hearing her say, "my baby," over and over again. It wasn't your baby. Move on already. I'm pretty sure Elizabeth overheard Willow talking to herself about Drew. And what's up with Molly reporting that Christina had a gun? She's clearly out to hurt Christina, and it's only a matter of time before Molly has a nervous breakdown. TJ isn't helping either. And when it happens, he'll probably end up blaming Christina. Good luck to Ava with Rick, though. He's going to make Christina feel so guilty. Did anyone catch the conversation between Jordan and Isaiah when she first entered the room? It felt like they might know each other, but it wasn't clear. I'm really not liking the new writers. They've completely changed the characters, and it's frustrating. The new versions of Anna, Willow, and Molly are just awful. Fan favorites have been pushed aside, and the storylines are all over the place. On a different note, things are heating up. Brennan confirming Carly's status. Could this mean there's a reconciliation on the horizon? Just when things were getting interesting, Anna shows up to interrupt a good Carly and Brennan moment. And once again, Carly outmaneuvers Anna by questioning Isaiah first and getting to Brennan's office before her to ask for his help. It definitely seemed to get under Anna's skin. The mission to find Lucky could send Carly after Jason, And meanwhile, Alexis is in trouble as she tries to clear her name over Jaguar's death. Molly, as an attorney, should know better, but now she's trying to get Christina in trouble, even though she knows Christina didn't kill Jaguar. I'm starting to worry that Molly's actions might be motivated by revenge after losing her baby. For those who might not remember, Carly actually did have a close relationship with Lulu. She even confronted Johnny, warning him to stay away from Lulu. The only real tension between them was when Dante outed Michael as Claudia's killer, but they eventually made up. Carly also had some interactions with Lucky and Uncle Luke. Now, with Jackie Zeman's passing, Carly might be stepping into the Spencer family role that Ruby and Bobby once filled. Honestly, I'd love to see that side of Carly developed more. I have to say, I'm really not enjoying these storylines. So many fan favorites have been sidelined, and it feels like we're taking a step back in time. I love GH, but the writers need to listen to the fans. That said, I still stand by Molly and TJ. They're seeking justice, but this whole situation is getting out of hand. Alexis lost her ability to think rationally a long time ago. All she seems to care about is enabling Christina's behavior. Now poor Molly is falling into the family's chaotic patterns, just in the opposite direction. But Molly doesn't even have any real evidence. Her claims would easily be dismissed as hearsay. It seems Alexis really can't think straight when Christina messes up. If it were Sam or Molly in the same situation, I doubt she'd be trying to take the fall for them. Meanwhile, Molly is clearly letting her grief drive her, wanting Christina to pay for the loss of Irene. Hopefully, this storyline doesn't drag on too long, and someone else ends up taking the fall for Sonny again. Speaking of new characters, I'm intrigued by this new doctor. Initially, I thought his stay would be brief, but now it looks like they're planning to extend his arc with a mysterious backstory. As for Anna, I'm getting tired of her. Her attitude is unbearable, and her lack of compassion is shocking. I wish someone would leak that she warned Valentin to escape, and her disapproval of Carly and Brennan's friendship. That's none of her business. I loved when Brennan stood up to her, saying, "I do not take orders from you." Molly is another one who needs to be brought down a notch. I'm tired of her selfish behavior. Christina could have taken that gun to hurt herself, not necessarily to target Kate's. No one is thinking clearly in this situation. TJ, for instance, needs to take a seat and be quiet. Meanwhile, Alexis is going off the rails, and it's hard to blame her with two daughters at each other's throats. She's trying to support both, and it's tearing her apart. On a different note, Finola and Steve have fantastic chemistry. I'd love to see Anna and Jason continue working together, though not romantically. Robin's mom with her ex-boyfriend would be gross. But as professional partners, yes, please. It would be ironic if Molly got Christina busted for killing Kate's, only for Sonny to confess to save her. But Sonny's such a little weasel, it's 50-50 whether he'd actually come clean. Molly is risking her entire reputation in the legal community just to hurt Christina and Alexis. She has no real evidence that Christina killed Kate's, and once Christina is cleared, Molly will look foolish professionally. Worse yet, she'll further alienate her mother and sister. Wasn't Brennan the head of the Pikeman group at one point? Before Valentin took over, Brennan was running things, and they were both working to take down Sonny. Now Brennan's with the WSB, and somehow an upstanding guy in Port Charles. And let's talk about Willow. Sanctimonious Willow is weak and boring. Michael deserves a strong leading lady. Elizabeth is another character who's easily manipulated. Anna, too, is becoming unrecognizable. It seems GH sometimes dumbs down its female characters, which is frustrating to watch. The fact that Nina still doesn't know Ava was aware Sonny was off his meds when their marriage crumbled is baffling. If she knew, I doubt Nina would be going so hard for Ava. I've always hated their friendship. It's ridiculous that Nina would back Ava, especially going against Christina, who has defended Nina from the beginning. That dynamic makes no sense. I have zero sympathy for Ava. She created this mess for herself. From the start, she lied to the police, tampered with evidence, and accused Christina of being bipolar like Sonny. Then she insinuated that Christina attacked her, all before John's plan was set in motion. And Rick trying to play the victim after everything he did to Carly, and drugging Liz, ridiculous. Molly's actions are completely wrong. Once she finds out Christina didn't kill Kate's, she'll be in deep trouble. Her poor decisions could cost her job at the DA's office. Honestly, I think Diane is the only one in Port Charles with any common sense right now. She must be writing her own script. Meanwhile, Laura and Kevin should have reached Lucky long ago. And just when you think Molly couldn't sink any lower, she surprises you. Anna is all over the place. She really needs to pick a lane. Carly asking Jason to go after Lucky could make for an interesting twist. Rick offering to represent Ava is another odd move. They'll probably bar him from doing so, especially if it means going up against Molly in court. And Molly going to the police station with supposed evidence against her sister will undoubtedly drive a wedge between her and TJ. Even though TJ can't stand Christina right now, he's made it clear that he doesn't believe she's a killer. As for Nina, I thought she liked Christina and wouldn't do anything to hurt Sonny, but clearly, all of that has changed. It's ironic that Christina stuck up for Nina against Carly, and now this is what she gets for trusting someone so disloyal. There was also that moment when Nina tried flirting with Rick to get him to help Ava. Back in the day, Rick might have fallen for it, but not this time. Maybe the gray hair has turned him into a serious lawyer for once. But still, there's a massive conflict of interest here. Rick's personal feelings and motivations are too tangled up in this case for him to be objective. Meanwhile, Ava just sits in the background doing nothing while Nina runs around doing all the heavy lifting. It's interesting to speculate on why Rick might be shifting his stance. If he's planning to twist things so Christina looks like she's out of control and responsible for Jagger's death, it would definitely hit both Sonny and Alexis where it hurts most. Rick's always been one for revenge, so this theory makes sense, especially since taking down Christina could be the perfect way to get back at them both. As for Molly and TJ, their behavior is becoming more and more extreme. It's hard to believe how unhinged they've both become. Molly used to be so level-headed, but now she's mean-spirited. It's tough to imagine any of them being ready for a child with all the chaos and emotional instability they're showing. Christina's loyalty to Nina is bound to come back and haunt her. After everything Christina did to defend Nina, especially after Nixon Falls and the SEC mess, Nina's betrayal stings even more. It's heartbreaking to think that Christina's trust in her will be shattered when she realizes how far Nina has gone to back Ava, especially considering how much Michael hates both Ava and Rick for what they've done to his family. Nina's decision to stand by Ava is baffling. She's finally being accepted into Michael's family, so why risk it? Ava killed his brother, and Rick's history with his mother makes this even more volatile. Nina really should know better than to get involved in something this messy, especially considering the damage Ava caused with Morgan's death. It feels like history is repeating itself, and Nina will be the one left out in the cold once Sonny finds out. As for Molly, she's become frustratingly irrational. She's throwing Christina under the bus based on assumptions, with no real facts to back up her accusations. It's like she's completely disregarding what Christina went through, especially with the loss of the baby. It's infuriating to see her act this way. She used to be so likable, and now she's turning into someone who's hard to root for. It's great to hear that the Christina/Molly and Michael/Willow/Drew drama has pulled you back into GH. Those kinds of emotionally charged storylines often breathe new life into characters who were previously sidelined, and it sounds like that's exactly what's happening with Molly and Christina. Seeing them clash after years of being pretty harmonious definitely makes things more interesting, and it's refreshing to see Molly as something other than the responsible one. Her meltdown has been long overdue. The Willow/Drew situation has the potential to really shake things up. If Michael finds out about Willow's affair, it could throw a wrench in their relationship and finally bring some much-needed drama to their storyline. Watching Michael experience the same betrayal he once justified is bound to create some compelling moments. Your frustration with the surrogacy storyline is totally understandable. While Christina has her flaws, Molly's incessant berating of her is exhausting. It feels like Christina could move mountains for her, and Molly would still find something to scream about. There's no balance in how the show is portraying their dynamic, and it feels like Christina's emotional toll is getting overlooked. PPD is a serious matter, and even though Christina wasn't the biological mother, it doesn't mean she's immune to the emotional aftermath. Molly's break from her usual cool, composed self does resonate with people who can relate to being the responsible one in the family. It's that pressure to always have it together while watching others make mistakes and get away with it that's bound to lead to a breakdown at some point. Molly's frustration is real, but the way she's handling it is damaging her relationships with her family. Having Rick back in town, especially since he's more focused on supporting her, could be a turning point for her. It's hard to imagine Christina or Alexis truly taking the fall, though. Christina is so often protected by Sonny and Alexis that it's unlikely they'll ever let her face the full consequences. Sonny especially will probably find some way to keep her safe, even if it comes at a high cost for everyone else. But having Rick around to support Molly at least gives her someone firmly in her corner for once, even if his motives aren't always pure. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.